Welcome to mathematics class, and now we are going to talk about areas of parallelograms and triangles. So let us see the topics to be covered. First, we will have a brief introduction, and then we will talk about figures on the same base and between the same parallels. After that, we will look at parallelograms on the same base and between the same parallels, and finally triangles on the same base and between the same parallels. So let us start off with the introduction. Now we all know that two congruent figures have equal areas, right? Like here it is shown triangle ABC and triangle DEF have equal areas, right? Because they can overlap onto each other. But the converse is not always true, right? The converse is not always true. Why? Because if two figures have the same areas, not necessarily all the two figures will be congruent, right? If the areas of two figures are the same, not necessarily they have to be same with each other. They have to be alike. Let us see one example. Areas of rectangle with side 9 cm and 4 cm is 9 into 4, which is 36 cm square. You can see here 9 into 4, 36 cm square, right? The area of this rectangle. Now if we find out the area of a square with side 6 cm, we actually get the area same 36 centimeters, right? 6 into 6, 36 centimeters. So you have seen that if the areas are same, not necessarily both the figures have to be same. But if the two figures are congruent to each other, or the two figures are exactly alike, then obviously both of their areas must be the same. And one more thing which we must know: if a planar region is formed by two or more non-overlapping planar regions, then the area of the bigger planar region is the sum of the individual smaller planar regions. Like here, a bigger planar region, which is the bigger square, is actually divided into smaller figures 1, 2, 3 and 4, right? It is divided into 4 quadrilaterals. Now the area of this big figure is actually the sum of the individual portions, right? And we will use this characteristics, like if the areas are same, both of the figures need not be the same, and the sum of the individual parts of a whole figure actually give us the area of the whole figure. Now we will use these two concepts in the following slides. So let us jump to our next topic: figures on the same base and between the same parallels. So here you can see we have drawn two parallel lines. So let us draw one closed figure. I have drawn a quadrilateral, which is obviously a trapezium. Two sides are parallel, AB and DC, right? So we have drawn a quadrilateral between two parallel lines, or we can say between two parallels. Now let us consider one more quadrilateral. Let us consider MNCD, the blue one. Let us consider the blue quadrilateral. You can see this blue figure is actually on the same base, right? The blue figure is on the same base DC, and also the blue and the red figures, both of them lie between the same parallel lines or between the same parallels, right? Both of these figures lie between the same parallels. So these kind of figures are said to be on the same base and between the same parallels, right? Such figures where both of them have a common base and both of them have the same height or they are between the same parallels are called figures on the same base and between the same parallels, right? And of course the heights are same because for lines which are parallel, their shortest gap, their perpendicular gap between these two parallel lines is always constant, right? Or the height between these two lines is always constant. So the height for these figures are also constant. And here are some examples where figures have the same base but they don't lie on the same parallels. Like for the first figure, if we draw a parallel line which is passing through AB, you can see EF is not lying